Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wild Tribe Podcast. I am your host with the most. You know what it is. It's your boy Fernello. It's 85 degrees. We're in Miami, Florida. And it's getting a little hotter because I got a special guest with me. Her name is Amber.
Hello there.
But she's always by the sea.
I am always by the sea.
Welcome to the Wild Tribe Podcast. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I can't complain. You know, weather's good.
Yep.
We're getting into the warmer months soon. All over. You know, it's always warm here, but it's good that people are getting into the spirit of traveling and doing things, and you know the energy is up. You know, so we're at the apex of fun in the next couple months. We just went through a crazy eclipse the other day.
Oh, I know. I was feeling it. I was feeling that.
The energy has definitely changed in the world, and a lot of people are going through their own personal transformation.
Sure.
You know, your boy is definitely going through his. I've been transforming since the age of 5, so we don't stop changing. You know. So I'm glad you're here. It's been a minute.
Yes.
Last time I saw you, we did some body painting.
Yep.
And it's crazy because our connection goes 2 years. 2 years ago, we connected, and we've been trying to get connected and work together for 2 years, and it finally happened last year. And it was amazing. We did our first project.
Yep.
It was the Dragon series,
I
and it
loved
was
that one.
it was worth. I would say it was worth the wait for 2 years. I would say we killed
I think
it.
it was even 3 years.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, we contacted each other when I was living in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was 3 years ago, but we just been back and forth trying to make it happen. But you were occupied in other endeavors at the time, so now you became a free woman, and you were able to take charge and do the body art because you were occupied in a relationship, right?
Yes.
So now you're free. You know, I always get them when they're free. I love me a free agent. That's right. Round of applause for me right there. Free agency. We love free agency. It's a good thing out here. So how long have you been modeling exactly?
I started when I was dating my daughter's father.
Okay.
But so I would say maybe like 6 years, maybe.
Oh, that's it.
7, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't remember the
What-
first time
like-
I did it. But I wasn't really like
Right.
pushing it a lot. I just did it here and there.
So how did you get into the modeling world? Was it was it influenced by other people, or were you like always?
I had other friends that were
Okay.
doing things, and so
Okay.
I saw them, and you know, I've always been very comfortable with my body and
Right.
in front of the camera. So I enjoyed it for
Okay.
you know the time that I did. But I've recently had something happened to me, so
She's going through her little butterfly phase, guys. You know, women in their transformations. So you started modeling when you had you were with your
yeah, I was with my daughter's father for 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's a crazy number. I actually had a relationship for 13 years. It was amazing, you know, but eventually people, you know, grow apart.
Yeah.
You know, different circumstances, people going, you know, separate ways for different reasons.
I think what really changed it was when 4 years ago I did ayahuasca for the first time.
Okay.
After I did it, I had this profound like change in myself, and I didn't drink alcohol, or I didn't want to party for a whole year. And,
Right.
And during that time, it changed a lot of what he was used to. So I remember him coming to me and was like, "Who are you? I don't even know who you are anymore." So, we just had our differences, and we were moving at a different pace, and we weren't on the same level anymore. So.
And this was your baby's father?
Yeah.
Okay. And
This
the
was-
13-year relationship?
Yeah. So we separated like 3.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's a long time to be with a person. I mean, I've been there, done that, but you don't really. The thing is, with long committed relationships, guys, you don't really count the months and years. I mean, when you're connected to a person, time just flies by really fast because you're doing all these things together. You're not counting down the days, and I don't really see a lot of long-term, meaningful relationships these days. I see a lot of hookups and situationships, and
there's a lot of cheating that's going on too,
I lie, I cheat, I steal.
Boy, like especially people that are in relationships. I don't understand it. Like, why be in a relationship if you're going to be sleeping around with other people? Like, just for that, just be.
Because people want their cake
I know.
and they want to eat it too.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense, but here's the thing. I can answer your question with one thing. Is this pertaining to men, or is this pertaining to women, or just in general?
I think in general, like,
Okay. So I think what it is like I said, people want their cake and eat it too, but I feel that a lot of people just don't want to be alone. And they end up getting with partners and just to say that they have someone,
Yeah.
and just to have that person. It's more of a self-fulfilling thing. Instead of putting in the work and the time to build something meaningful, and to have a goal and an end game. Why am I with this person? Is this to start a family? Is this to build an empire? Is this to, start a new generational form of wealth between me and my significant other? Or it's just like, I'm lonely and I want somebody to take me out. I want somebody to cuddle. These are more selfish needs.
Yeah.
And I think once that novelty wears off and you start peeling back the layers of a person, you see who they really are.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, well, shit, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you look past the surface level of things with people, past the man's money, past the woman's sexuality and her body and her looks, what is the real thing you're getting? What is the most authentic thing about that person that you're getting? Forget about the surface level stuff, but what is that man or woman doing for you in your spirit? And I think a lot of people are waking up and smelling the coffee when they realize, hey, this is not what I bargained for. This is not what I really got into this for.
I think that's also kind of what I felt towards the end of my relationship with my daughter's father. I started to have this deeper feeling within my soul, and I realized I wasn't getting that deep connection with him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why we also kind of just started separating from one another. And, and like I said, in the relationship, I was talking about cheating. And even if I don't really know what happened, but I just found texts, and to me, texting is cheating. I just
no, it's not.
I think it is.
I get texts all the time.
But
listen to me. When I had a girlfriend,
if you see the type of texts, then you'd be like,
when I had a girlfriend, you should see the type of texts I used to get. Some crazy stuff. But it's the act of doing things.
Course.
That can lead to something, right? If it's not taken care of right away, it can lead to, it could just be a simple text, and that leads to a simple meetup, and that leads to a simple dick in somebody's mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It happens.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
But, there was something missing. There was a piece of the puzzle missing from you guys' relationship, and that's when he needed to seek something else. Yeah. I think once you went through your transformation, he was left behind in that, and he had no parts in that. So there was a disconnect there because he didn't understand this new you and the journey that you're on. So once someone isn't on board with that, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like you getting on a ship and it's just drifting away, and that person's on the boardwalk waving to you like this. Like, there's no way they can get on that.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? They're going to try to connect with someone that's still in their mindset.
Yeah.
You understand?
For sure.
So yeah, that probably what happened.
Yeah.
You know, and instead of taking the time to say, okay, you're going through this, what can I do to help, and what can we do to create a stronger bond between us? Because I see you're going through this. You're not drinking. You're not doing any of this other stuff that I met you doing. Then maybe we do this together. You know. Maybe that was the lack of communication. You think that happened?
Yeah, I think. I mean, it got to a point in that relationship that, you know, every time I kind of tried to express how I felt about anything, it would become an argument.
Okay.
So
there was resistance.
Throughout the years, I started to notice that I just, instead of expressing how I felt, I just kept it inside until one day, if we were like, you know, talking and started arguing about anything, I would just explode because all those other little things would build up to that moment, you know, instead of me being able to express when things hurt me or bothered me.
Right.
But, you know, everything happens for a reason. And I think now where I'm at in life, I mean, I did fall back behind once we separated, and I started going back into things that I didn't want to do anymore. And, you know, I now recently, after what happened to me, like I realized, you know, I was in a very dark place.
Right.
And sometimes you have to get to especially in the last 2 months, I just was in a very dark place. And I think you have to go really deep into that darkness sometimes to find the light and to know like what you need to change about your life. Like when you get to really that lowest point in your life, I mean, after that, there's only one way to go from there, you know?
Right. So that's very true. And sometimes it takes you years to find that. And sometimes you got to go through certain, relationships to find who you really are and become in tune with your inner self and your true self. So after him, were you dating around?
I was single for just 1 month.
Okay.
And then Daniela was like, oh, let's go out. I wanted to go out. I mean, she wanted to go out, and I was like, okay, fine. I went out.
Daniela's a friend of the show. Yes.
And I ended up meeting someone.
Okay.
And then we ended up being together for 3 years.
Okay.
A little on and off in between. But
on and off. That's toxic right there.
Oh, yeah. Because at the end of the day, when we got together, like, I told him, I'm like, listen, I just got out of a 13-year relationship. So I need time for myself right now.
That was the number one problem. You didn't give yourself enough time to heal.
I didn't.
Because 13 years to be with someone, that is a long time, and remnants of that person will still be around. Yeah. So you're still mourning that separation from that other person, and the new guy is more of a distraction.
Yeah.
So I always tell guys, if you're dating a chick that's recently single, just know that you're just a plaything for her right now. You can't take it seriously unless, you know, she states, hey, I'm looking for something serious. But if she says, hey, look, I just got out of a relationship. I just got to clear my head. If you want to have a couple drinks, you want to have a good time, I'm there for it. Cool. But just know your role in that situation, knowing that that's just for a temporary time. Now, I'm not saying that things can't manifest and work its way in, but just know that you're going to have to wait on that woman to transition into where she's comfortable now dating for purpose, not dating for distraction. Because that's what a lot of people do when they get out of, I would say, serious relationships. Yeah. They date for distraction. It's not, you know.
I'm not, like, honestly, in that relationship, we had a lot of our issues, a lot of toxicity, you know, but I also learned a lot from that relationship. And it was definitely a lot of lessons for the both of us.
It kind of needed to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I would say certain arrangements are put in place for, that's like that manifest destiny stuff. You know, it kind of happens because it needed to happen for the lessons to be learned. Now, if you don't listen and watch and observe things that are going on in your life, you could just be in a vicious, toxic cycle for years
Yeah.
with different people. It doesn't have to just be with that one person. It could be the next guy or the next one, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like learning from that is the key, and then moving forward with that new information, you can take that and build something better for yourself. And I always say, you know, sometimes in life you have to give yourself up to loneliness, because that's when you find who you really are.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long road.
I know that definitely. Everything that I have learned in my past relationships, that obviously it's not just them, it's also me, and I need to work on things within myself and
Correct.
heal myself, and so that way I can attract someone. Like I need to fix the certain things with myself, so that way I can attract exactly what I want in a man. I need to become that, so that way I can.
Yeah, man. Listen, guys, I'm in my soft guy era. You know, if the woman's not bringing something to the table that benefits me, I'm out. You know, it was so many years women had all these demands, but now it's time for you guys to stand up and demand your respect, demand your time. If you're putting in 100%, she's got to put in 110. You feel me? Especially if you're worth it. So, guys, don't devalue yourself. Don't be a simp. You know your worth, know your value, and you're gonna get the right type of woman in your life. But when you're going after somebody that doesn't value themselves, they're not gonna value you either.
Yep.
You know, they're just gonna keep chasing the next thing that's better. Because remember, when they're chasing the next thing that's better, they're not better themselves. They wouldn't be chasing something better if they're comfortable within themselves and they know their value and their worth. They won't be chasing anything. Things will be chasing after them.
Yep.
So, you know, you got to know the type of woman you're dealing with and also know yourself. And once you both know what you bring to the table and the value and equity you both have as people, then you're going to attract and magnify the right people around you. And it's a true thing, you know, like
Yes.
you want a good man, but you got bad girl tendencies, it's not going to happen. You're just going to get fuckboys. You want a good woman, but you're a fuckboy, or you're going to get the typical chick that's on Instagram that's showing her body for attention. You're going to get those types of women, and you're not going to be happy with what you get. And they don't know what to bring to the table, because they're getting all this cheap validation. I call it cheap validation because it's free. Anybody could, put their body on the internet and get a bunch of likes, a bunch of comments. But what is that exactly? What was the world before social media? How was women really getting validation before social media? Yeah. We're living in a time where this is so normal that it's like you don't have to work hard to earn your validation. You just got to look pretty, and some Indian dude is going to, message you 1,000 times, or, so that's what's going to happen, So this goes on all the time, and it's all this cheap validation, but no substance. And that's what's going on in the world right now with a lot of these young women. And they think in their minds that there's something special, but they have no special qualities. You're just a face. You're just another body. And soon with this AI, let me tell you, they're making up girls now.
Yeah, I know.
Literally.
I know.
So what is that doing for you? Now you got to compete against the AI.
I know, which is perfect. It doesn't age.
It doesn't age.
Perfect body.
Perfect body, probably. And then once these things start having conversations with people,
they already do.
I know some of these AIs have OnlyFans now.
Oh, yes, they do.
So we're growing in a society where we're not going to have real women or real men. Even that there's going to be these virtual companions.
Yeah.
So people are losing that human element of understanding and working towards something, building towards something. People just want a quick fix.
Yeah.
It's like a drug.
Yep.
They don't want to work on knowing the worst and the best of a person. They just want the best.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with all the drama that I totally understand. It's hard. It's not easy.
I think also after what happened to me this past weekend with
oh boy. The solar energy
the
did something
was
to her.
Very strong this weekend for me, and I had a very dark moment in my room, and I was crying, and I was praying to God and asking for forgiveness. And I never pray. And ever since this past weekend, I've been praying every single day.
Right.
And after I did that, the craziest thing happened to me. I don't know if it was because I was just talking about love and everything, and my vibrations were raising, and they were like
Vibrations?
yes, like
What kind of vibrations?
oh my gosh.
She had a magical moment, guys.
I had a magical moment. And after this moment, like, it just dawned on me that I don't even want to say what happened after what happened, because it sounds crazy.
What sounds crazy? Oh,
What happened after I prayed?
a woman sounding crazy. That's nothing new.
After I prayed to God, it was almost like, I don't know what happened to my body, and it just started like moving without me moving it.
Did you feel the presence of God?
I actually felt something. I don't know.
You
And
felt
it felt
something, all right.
like leave my body, and then I just felt light and peace, and so many things came to me. Then the next day, I was like purging of crying, like just a lot. I cried so much.
What?
My eyes were swollen. The next day, I was crying. And then the next day also, I had to take my cat to the vet. This happened, I cried at night, so I took my cat to the vet. And as I'm getting back into my car, a woman comes up to me with her daughter, and she's like, "Can I pray for you?" And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So we sat there in the parking lot, and she's saying a prayer to me. And this woman, what she said to me is everything that I was praying to God the night before. I could not even believe it. I started to cry there in the parking lot as she's telling me this and saying this to me. And then then I went home, and then, like I told you, I purged with a lot of crying, and afterwards I just felt so much better. And then so many things started like coming into my mind, and what I want to do for myself and to better myself, for my daughter. And I have to make a lot of changes in my life so that way I can feel worthy and have more love for myself, because I feel like for so long, and in the relationships I was in, I felt like they put me down a lot. And I when you hear
you say they put you down a lot. Who's putting you down?
My exes that I was with, they're just saying hurtful things about me. Like, and words are very powerful. So that's why I feel like when you say things that are positive and not negative, because it does really affect especially after years of hearing the same things, you start to believe those things.
I always say positive words.
That's, yeah.
Like, go fix me a sandwich, love. Hurry up and get in the goddamn kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
Dinner's ready. I like hearing those positive things.
You're so funny.
Always say positive, my friends.
Yes, for sure.
But no, in all seriousness, relationships in general are tough.
Yes.
And anytime you go through one, there's a lesson to be learned.
Yes.
If you're smart and you pay attention, you start learning more and more about yourself as years, pile on. And you're definitely in a transitional period right now. I think it's great that you're watching and paying attention to the way you are, and you're looking at, okay, let me make some adjustments here.
Yeah.
And that's always good. I would say every year, try to outdo yourself from the last year. Try to better yourself from the last year. Upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't want to go, after,
you don't want to go backwards.
Yeah, after feeling what I already felt and this whole moment that I had, I feel like if I would be going against myself or for God, like if I go back to
just
I can't go back. I can only move forward.
You only could move forward with the intentions of what's good for you, right? And that's really what counts. What's good for you.
Yeah.
And I think you were in a place in your life where you were trying to do what's best for others, and you looked at yourself as a passenger and not the driver. So you would always say, "Oh, okay, I'm his wife or I'm his girl. I gotta, know my role," which is good. Look, I'm not saying being submissive is bad, but there's a difference. there's submissive and there's submissive abuse where people abuse that position that they're in.
Yeah.
I love my woman to be submissive, but I'm not trying to tear her down.
Yeah.
I want her to be strong. I want her to be confident because a confident woman is addicting. And it's transferable. So I want someone to have a strong personality that inspires me, but not it's scared of me, or like you don't want that type of energy. You want someone that's strong, that's a good partner, and having that authority to abuse someone or make them feel down, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with.
Yeah, I think also what you were saying before is talking about valuing yourself more,
Yeah.
and I feel like maybe in the past relationships I wasn't doing that with myself,
Right.
and I feel like I'm very much in my feminine. I like to be a caretaker. And
I love a woman in their feminine energy.
I love taking care of my man.
That's right.
And and I love for my man to be in his masculine and just like take control.
That's right. Let's give her a round of applause for being a feminine creature. We love that. We love that. Especially, there's nothing like, being with a woman that gives you a back rub, that asks you, hey, are you hungry?
Giving massages.
What can I do for you? Look, women, you don't have to be the best cook, but you got to know how to serve someone. There's a difference. We're not expecting you to be a gourmet chef here, but we're expecting you to give a certain type of love and affection. And I think that's the most important thing. No matter how bad your cooking is or whatever, the fact is you're putting in work and you're putting in that energy into someone and making them feel good. That's the key component to a good relationship, making that person feel good.
Yeah.
Taking them out of their pain and suffering for those couple minutes that you're with them, making them feel like they're important, because we got to deal with all kinds of shit every day. So for someone to take the time to say, hey, how you doing? Are you good? Let me rub your back, your neck, whatever. That's amazing. That's a keeper right there. You can't get that from, some random Susia, in Miami. You can't. So it's about the quality that you're spending with them, that time, the energy and effort that woman's putting into you. You got to look at that. She's trying to build equity with you. She's trying to make it mean something. So if you have a woman that's asking you, hey, I'm out here, I'm about to head to your place, do you want anything? That goes a long way. That's someone that's concerned about you, that's thinking about you with good intentions, and it's the small little things that matter. And I think a lot of people don't look at the bigger picture. It's a small deed that leads to a bigger picture. Not the big, you could do something big for somebody, but
I think it's the little things that matter.
The big thing is to get that cheap wow. Oh, he did this. Oh, he took me on his yacht. Oh, he did. Yeah, he has it, right? But if you took your last dollar and get me a cup of coffee to say, hey, are you good? That means more to me because you took more out of the time and you thought about me.
Yeah.
So to me, those are like the things that matter to men.
For me, I think what matters to me also is like not material things. What matters to me is your time and your attention. Like if I'm there and I'm with you, and let's say we're on a date or something, and you're on your phone the whole time, or you're not paying attention, and we're not like making eye contact and conversation, like it's just that's not.
That can also be a generational thing too, because there's a lot of people that get distracted with their phones. Yeah. So we're living in a time where, and I had to understand this when I was dealing with a lot of females. A lot of women like to text. I don't like texting. I'm more of like, you got to get a sense of who I am through my conversation, through my voice, the tone of my voice. Yeah. And the newer generation, they like texting. They're on their phones all the time. They're so distracted with the world that
they're not in the present moment.
They're not in the present moment. And you taught me a little bit about the present moment. You told me one time we were working, and and you said, "Hey, listen, you need to be in the present." Because my mind was all over the place. I was thinking about a million different things on my phone, this, that, and you said, "Look, we're having a great photo shoot. Just be in the moment. Enjoy your fruits of your labor here. Like, don't worry about that phone call or that thing. So it's definitely something that I took from you, and I said, you know what? Yeah, I got to be in the moment a little bit more, because you don't know when it's your last photo shoot you're gonna do with this person. You don't know when, right? Things can happen at a drop of a dime.
Yep.
You know, you woke up and it was a paradigm shift for you, and now.
I read this book called The Power of Now, and that one was that also showed me a lot of like living in the moment and being present.
Exactly, you have to do that.
Enjoying, like when you going outside and go for a walk, and really just enjoy the trees and the grass and walk barefoot, ground yourself.
That's right, ground yourself.
I
walk
love
barefoot.
Doing that. I love to do that.
You know, you don't have to wear clothes. We want to see those buns and those cheeks. Out in the open. Yeah. Be one with nature.
Yes, I love that.
Because I love me a chick that's into nature.
Yep.
So, but that's awesome. Living in the moment, feeling that energy and that time with that person is very special. And I think that's missing in today's dating experience. I haven't really dated. I dated maybe one woman for, been separated. Well, not separated. I wasn't married, but I wasn't in a relationship for about 6 years. So I never took anything seriously after being with someone for 13 years. I needed that break.
Yeah. How long was your break before that?
I didn't have a break.
No, I'm saying like after your 13 years, before you said you were in.
Oh, so me and my ex broke up in 2017, but we were still kind of seeing each other. So it didn't officially end till about 2019. It was kind of like okay, let me just take a break here. So I'd say our official end was like 2019. I would say no contact, none of that stuff. Because we weren't together, but we were still playing football, if you know what I mean. But, she was still on the team. But, eventually she was like, look, we can't keep doing this. I got to start dating. I got to start, you're kind of holding me hostage here. And I totally understood. I said, you know what, you're right. And then from there, she started dating. So I would say from 2019 to maybe about 2022.
Yeah.
I wasn't dating anybody. It was just a, work and play, but no substance. 2022, I met a young lady who I had the pleasure of knowing. It wasn't a long thing. It was a short thing, but dating her taught me that I could actually be a good boyfriend still, and I didn't know if I still had it in me to do it, but I see that I was like, I could actually do this, but I need to do this with the right type of partner that is ready for this. But she was young, she was like, I'm a little older, but she was like 20. She was like a 24-year-old at the time.
Yeah.
But that was pretty young, and she still got a long way to go, and a lot of things to learn about herself as a woman. So, I knew that wasn't gonna. If I would date someone, she needs to be a little bit more mature, seasoned in her life, and that's strong-minded and would be a good asset for me. Also open-minded too, that experience, me dating that young woman, it definitely opened up some possibilities to know what I want. Because sometimes you have to date or you have to go through certain people to know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
You're not going to know until you really kind of say, I'm going to go through this person to figure out, And it's never going to be perfect, because I might find a woman that looks aesthetically pleasing, but there's still a lot of things wrong with her that she needs maybe that time to still learn about herself.
Yeah.
Or there's things about, she doesn't really cook, or she really doesn't do this. But those things could be learned, and you got to give people a chance. My biggest thing when I'm looking for someone is what's in their heart, what's in their spirit. Are they going to be in it for the long haul, or are they just going to quit?
I think one thing for me that I know from my past relationships is that I definitely would love to meet someone eventually that knows how to cook. Like, doesn't need to cook all the time, but someone who knows how to do some things, so we can either cook together in the kitchen, or, sometimes I get a meal made for me because I'm usually the one that does it. So it's nice.
Rightfully so.
I feel like,
Rightfully
I'm
so,
okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with it. I actually enjoy it.
Man
my favorite is
doesn't
breakfast.
belong in the kitchen.
I love to make breakfast. That's my favorite. But it's nice to have a man cook for me every once in a while. It shows that you care and you love them. To me, like, that's just a big deal. I don't know. Maybe not. Look at your face.
Listen, honey, just get your ass in the kitchen, all right? We don't care about that.
God,
Cook,
so
God
funny.
damn it.
You're so funny.
I
saw a thing on Instagram the other day. I reposted. It was really funny. It was saying, I guess the guy was talking about, you don't cook like our grandmas used to cook, and then the girl comes back saying, yeah, well, you don't provide like grandpa used to.
Look, we're living in a different time. I think what the whole cooking thing represents, it's like it goes back to being a nurturer, being that person that takes care of you. People want that feeling of someone taking care of them. It's a love language.
Yeah.
When you cook for someone, it's a form of a love language. It's like
I cooked a lot. Like, I mean, I would cook with my ex, but the thing that would bother me so much is like when I cook, like I want you to be home and we eat together. Not like I cook it and have to like he would have to come home later and then eat it like whenever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you
want to
enjoy the meal with the person together and eat together, and it's like a moment because you put your time and effort into it, and you want to see someone to just be there and enjoy that meal with you and see the look on their face when they're eating and they're happy.
Exactly.
No, I totally understand, and yes, cooking for someone is definitely good. I've done that in the past for my ex, and it's cool, it does make them happy. I don't do it all the time, but but here's the thing: if you don't, if you don't do it all the time and you finally do it, it hits more. It has more impact because they're gonna remember that. Oh, he cooked for me this one time, or it's the presentation of things, right? So like you said, I could make a great breakfast. I can cook real.
Oh, I love making
I can
breakfast.
cook a real meal. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
I just, if I have the convenience of going to the store and getting something, I'll just be like, listen, I'll pull a Mrs. Doubtfire. I'll just order from like,
You gotta cook it on the stove to make it smell.
I'm gonna be like, I made this for you, honey. Yeah, DoorDash, baby.
Oh my God!
But you didn't see that. But it's the thought that counts, right?
Man.
But look, at the end of the day, we're all searching for that one thing. Sometimes it's right in our faces and we don't know, but we're always searching for that. And I think the key to it is not search for the perfect person because. My cousin told me one time, he was like, for me to find the perfect woman, it's going to take about 5 different women combined to make the perfect woman for me. So he kind of hit it on the head. I was like, you're right, because I'm always like never really super satisfied with what I have. I'm always looking for more. And I learned to say, you know what? As long as they have 3 of these strong qualities, everything else really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for long-term commitment with a person and not temporary fun, the looks are going to fade. You're not going to look as beautiful as you did when you were 30.
Yeah.
We're all going to look different. So, okay, all right, well, how's her energy? Does she make me feel good? Because making me feel good, bringing some sort of inspiration to me and joy, that's the key.
Yeah.
Does she put a smile on my face? Is it little things? It's not all the physical attributes. As much as I love it, I like me a big old booty and some nice titties and.
I think it's how you feel with that person when you're with them.
Yeah, because I mean, look,
safe.
every chick in Miami walking around with the same body type, like they
Yeah.
all came out of factory. So what are you really looking at? You know, it's all surface level, but who are these people behind these pictures, right?
Yeah.
So when you start learning about them, you're like, oh, like
Yeah,
wow.
like they can be beautiful on the outside, but ugly in the inside.
Yeah, and they got demons, and they're drinking and drugging all the time. They
Yeah.
partying too much, and you're just like, all right, it's not good, you know.
Yeah.
And you want something a little bit more simpler. So ultimately, it comes down to how that person makes you feel,
Yeah.
and that stays, because you could have all the riches, you could have all the Botox and the booty in the world, and that doesn't mean anything, because
Yeah,
if you
but
bring,
but you can be doing all of those things as well,
Yeah.
but you still feel sadness inside, you know, like for the girls, I'm saying, you know, like they're doing all these things and needing outer validation, but in the inside they're crying, you know, and I feel like that's kind of where a point that I got to. I'm
Yeah.
having all this validation on the outside, but how am I feeling on the inside? And that's one thing that I want to focus on now more than ever is just healing my inner world so that
Yeah.
my outer world can be
yeah.
beautiful, just as beautiful as I want to feel on the inside, you know?
That is true. That is true. Then you just got to give yourself that timetable to heal, and it's a real thing. You know, it really is. Healing is a large factor.
I think it's a never-ending thing.
No, but here's the thing: we're
there's
never
always something.
we're never fully complete, right? We're always learning. We're always advancing in life. Go through different chapters. Every chapter has a story.
Yeah.
And from we're all going somewhere.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about it is the journey, getting there,
Yeah.
right? Learning, how did I go from this to this, you know?
Honestly, that's why I'm taking my main account, getting disabled for a second time. Honestly,
That was the universe telling you something, my
yeah,
friend.
it really was. I'm telling you, I was just like, you know, it's happening for a reason, and I feel like now with this new page that I have,
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna be more authentic with it and just
Do the things that
I want
resonate with your soul.
Because I felt like the other one was just all sexy, and this one I feel like I'm just doing more what my soul wants me to do.
Yeah, and that's the key. Just go with your gut, you know, and follow that intuition. Let that guide you in the right direction. And you know, we're going through a change. You know, times are changing. You know, people are waking up. They are seeing there's more to life than a social media post. You know, there's more to life than fly-by-night friends, because we could all get those. And you'll see who your real friends are, who really fucks with you when the times get darker.
Yep.
And
That's when I found
You
out
know,
who my real friends are.
and you'll know, oh, she's acting funny. Oh, she's doing this now. Oh, I don't know. Don't invite her to this.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a party pooper. You're gonna see the change, and then but that's good, because that's a
It
cleansing.
shows you what friends like. It filters out the people that are
Right.
there for a good time or there for certain reasons, instead of just supporting you and loving you and
Yeah.
on your journey and your path of healing. And
It's one of those things where I don't necessarily when I see somebody going through something and it goes in a different direction from where I'm going, I don't necessarily say that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I always look at that and say, okay, one day I'm probably going to be in that person's shoes doing the same thing. So let me do the right thing by that person and encourage them to go further and become the best version of themselves. Because maybe right now where I'm sitting is a different seat. I'm looking at things differently, but you have to put yourself in that person's shoes and say, hey, that person went through some shit. They're going to make this change. I could abandon them, or I could fall back and do my thing and let them do their thing. But what is that? What was this whole connection about then? If this person is making these changes, be there, guide them, be their comfort. Be that light for them as well. Be that beacon for them, because good friends are hard to find. Let me tell you, it's very difficult. And I complain about transactional relationships and things. But when I meet people that are not like that anymore and they just genuinely want to be around you, I cling to those people even more because I know that
They have
they
good intentions.
they move with authenticity with me, and it's not about, hey, I want to get a photo shoot. It's not about, oh, I want to get a body paint. Now it's like, I just want to hang out. I just want to talk to you. Let's catch a vibe. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. At first it was a little foreign to me when I had a couple people, were like that towards me, and I said, wow, like, that's cool, that's special. You know what? I need to keep this person close to me because that's valuable. That's a valuable asset to have, and especially, you have a beautiful woman that's like that. That's great, and a low-minded, low vibrational person would be like, oh, well, we're not doing the same things we were doing before. I'm going to get out of here, or I'm going to leave, that's a person that just has the most ill intentions, so you really see through the layers of a person once they support certain things.
Yeah.
Or once they leave, you say, oh, okay, that's what that was.
Yeah. Cool.
And I've been there with people, and once the mission is complete, as they say, and there's nothing else to gain from you, then you're gonna see people just disappear. Yeah. They're not gonna hit you up anymore because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
They weren't really truly about you. It was about what you provided for that moment in time. Yeah. That's why they were talking to you.
Yeah.
If you can't text me or message me, hey, how you doing, Fernello? What's going on? Or how you doing, Amber? Like, how's your day? If you can't, without trying to get something out of that, that's not really fucking with a person. That's just you're reaching for something. You want something from that. So you can tell. You can tell when, and there's a lot of women that do that.
Listen, it kind of reminds me of certain times when I've met like guys or dated guys, and I give them my phone number or whatever, and I don't hear from them at all. And then it's midnight or 3 a.m, what you doing?
Yeah, what you doing? I'm sleeping, bitch.
What the hell?
The fuck you think I'm doing?
No, I ain't no booty call. Like,
hey,
no, thank you, block.
You know what's crazy?
I just block them.
You know what's crazy? I've never hit a chick up that like late talking about come to my crib. First of all, I live in the middle of nowhere, guys. So whoever actually shows up to my house, they're the real MVP because I'm out the way. So if a girl shows up to my crib, they fuck with me because like they gotta fucking drive here. And I've had girls hit me up. Want to Uber me to their place. I've literally had that, and I'm like, it's kind of late. I don't think I want to do it. I've literally said that.
It's crazy. I'm telling you, lately, I think girls are becoming more like the men.
I don't know, man, but I just was like, you know what it is, because I'm not I have an abundance of beautiful ladies that I'm surrounded by, so scarcity isn't a thing for me. So if a chick hits me up at 3 a.m. or 12, I'm not really going to her place. Yeah. I'm just like, well, you can come here if you want. I'm not trying to leave my place to go there and do all this mission.
I don't know, but I'm telling you, I really do feel like women are more taking charge and being like a man.
But that's against their nature. That's not how a woman really is.
I know it shouldn't. I personally, I'm not. I'm very much like, you won't even hear from me. I need. For me, it's more of a man that's more of the aggressor and like, trying to.
Well, well, hold on a second now.
Aggressor.
Hold on. There's a difference between being aggressive and being consistent.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, aggressive sounds toxic.
There's a difference. So there's a guy that can, if they want to get with you, they'll aggressively pursue you where it almost is like hints of desperate. Yeah. Right? Whereas if someone's consistent, I would say I would text a girl, every week, say, hey, what's going on with you? Uh-huh. I'll send them a nice voice note. I like sending voice notes because I feel it's more personable than a text. Yeah. It's like I feel like text is so robotic. You could kind of misinterpret the text, especially the way I type. Yeah. So I try to send a voice note and just be like, hey, what's going on? I hope all is well. Today's a beautiful day. I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope to speak to you soon. Have a wonderful time. Whatever. Yeah. Just keep it short and sweet. And, it's a good thing to hear somebody's voice. It's just something about someone's voice that's more comforting, right?
Yeah.
So I like to send that. I feel that that's more personal and it means more because I'm taking the time to actually talk to you.
Yeah.
I know like calling someone in 2024 is like a big deal. So when you actually call a chick, some of them are like, "Oh, well, I don't know if I want to be on the phone," or people have like phone call anxiety. I don't know what it is.
I hate honestly. I hate texting. I like to talk on the phone.
Right, and it's like,
but I think it's like the younger generations, like they just don't.
well, you know, I only deal with 22-year-olds. You know me. But
Well,
you
can you
know,
believe I'm gonna be 37?
oh my God,
this
she's
month?
old.
This month.
Oh my God,
April 20th.
that's a big gap from 22. But no, I love me a mature, seasoned woman. I just happen to deal with a lot of younger, you know, because of the models and stuff. So a lot of them are in their 20s and
Yeah.
stuff. But I've noticed there's a big difference in just the way they communicate, and maybe that's a generational thing.
Yeah.
I
think
remember I grew up in a time back in my day. I grew up when we had beepers and we didn't have
the
Facebook.
beeper. I remember the beepers.
Beepers, and remember the dial phone?
Oh my God! Of course.
Our grandmothers had
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like we didn't have that, but like you go to your grandmother's house, she still had the dial phone. That shit was old.
Or the big box TVs.
Yeah, the big old fucking like, oh God.
I
Yeah.
definitely think though on our next podcast we should definitely talk about dating for sure.
Well, that's a whole nother subject.
Let's get some dating tips out there.
But the one thing I gotta say, communication is key, guys.
Definitely.
You know, guys and gals, communicate with the people that you find valuable,
Yep.
right? And don't tag someone along. Don't play games. I hate that stuff, man.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just like, look, what do you want from me? You need something? I'd rather you be straight up and be like, hey, I need this. What can we do to make it happen? Okay, let's negotiate here. And then already know where that person falls. Now, if that develops from negotiations into something more, then that organically happens. But in from the very jump, you should state your intentions purely in the beginning. And I think a guy or a girl will find that respectable. They'll like the fact that you're straight up, because there's not a lot of straight up people these days.
Nope.
Everyone's disguising themselves as noble and loyal, but they're not. You know,
Yeah.
they might be loyal to what you could provide for them at that moment, but once those provisions are evaporated,
Yeah.
what are they going to really be loyal to? They're not going to be loyal
I
to
think
you.
when I like say it from the beginning, when I meet anyone, I tell them still need my time alone.
And that
you
should be
know?
respected and not debated and not and look, if you're a man of value and you got shit going on, that shouldn't bother you. What are you gonna do? If someone tells me that, I said, okay, I support it 1,000%. Let you know, wherever I fit into your world, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you keep it moving and you keep it going, but you can't force that on a person. And myself, I'm not in that position either to want to connect with anyone on that level yet. I still have stuff to do. I still have things to work on as a man, and I have things that I want to accomplish. So I'm happy when I meet a chick that's like that, because it's like less pressure for me. I don't have to really think too much about it. I would enjoy her company, but like knowing that I don't have to fully mash the brakes unless it becomes more.
Yeah.
And then that person and I have a conversation with that person, and they say, "Hey, look, you're cool, but I'm looking for something a little bit more, stable. And I know you're a wild one, but as long as there's communication on the things that a person wants and
Yeah, for
requires from you, I think that should be stated. Don't be
I think a lot
afraid.
of times people feel like people are mind readers and we can
No,
know
not a
what
mind
you
reader.
want, you know?
I'm the worst motherfucker when it comes to mind reading. I don't know shit. Like I don't even know when a girl likes me or not. Sometimes I'm just like, because maybe they're scared to tell me. I don't know, but like, I sometimes I don't know.
Yeah.
And some women hide it very well. there's little things to indicate if someone's interested in you, but at the same time, it's 2024, man. People are just weird, like, so you don't know what's real and what's fake.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like the way I look at it is like, okay, who's hanging out and who's fucking with me the longest?
Yeah.
I play the time game. I play the long game. I say, okay, let's give it about a year. If she's still around within a year and she's still consistent, then let's go somewhere with this.
Yeah.
I'm like that now.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that in the past. So I really kind of fucked up a lot of good things because I've had girls that stayed for years, and I just either was too insecure with my ability to form a relationship, because once you come from that 13-year relationship, it's like to get back into another one.
I know, that's how I feel.
It's like, man, I gotta meet this bitch's family now. I gotta meet her. You gotta. It's like hitting the reset button all over again. You gotta go through the gambit again. So I was at.
I don't know. I feel like since I was in that relationship for so long, I feel right now more than ever like I want to be alone. I enjoy my alone time.
You need alone time.
I love to be with my cats.
Yeah, you're gonna be the cat lady.
I got 3 Bengals and I love them all, and it's just
fairness. Look, at the end of the day, relationships are hard. We all got to go through that. It's part of life, but just know who you are first before you start bringing people into your life, into your world. Work on yourself. Stay strong. And
watch our podcast. Watch the podcast.
Watch the pod. And that's it for today, folks.
Bye-bye.
We'll join you next time.
Yes.
And remember, stock up on that Plan B. I'm out.
You're so funny.